What's up, everybody? Welcome to Classic Reddit, where real humans read real content from askreddit. Today's post is by a concerned taxpayer, and the question is, how would you react if you found out that your significant other had been secretly raising racing pigeons in her free time? Well, first off, I would be confused and amazed. Then I would ask to see a race. Racing pigeons? At this time of year? In this part of the country? Localized entirely in our apartment? May I see them? No. Huh. You should get into online auction sites. I've sold my homing pigeon 11 times. You can never lose a homing pigeon. If your homing pigeon doesn't come back, what you've lost is a pigeon. I'd think it was a very odd coincidence, as I've been doing the same thing for years. They are your number one rival. Every tournament, you see that one person wearing the mask. They always defeat you, but you have never seen their face. They somehow seem to know everything about you, your every vulnerability. It's no coincidence. She knew the whole time. I read this as racist pigeons and said out loud, well, I have to find out what all this is about. Slightly disappointed to reread that title correctly now. Rincewind had always been happy to think of himself as a racist. The 100 meters, the mile, the marathon, he'd run them all. Oh, that is a Terry Pratchett quote. If you've never read Terry Pratchett's books, he has loads of books. They are some of my favorite books. I didn't get into them until a period where I wasn't reading anymore, but they were so good, they got me reading again, if that made sense. I didn't keep reading a lot. I don't read that much anymore, but Terry Pratchett books are great. They're really funny, and they have this upbeat, positive, if you can't do anything, then just joke and be positive about it worldview, while also tackling a lot of subjects like death and hardship and trauma, but in a way that just is like, you gotta just be positive and comical about it all. And they're great. Seriously, if you haven't read a Terry Pratchett book, go find one, download it online, whatever, read one. They're really, really good. This response to how would you react if you found out your significant other had been secretly raising racing pigeons in her free time. These thoughts would occur, and in the following order. What? Where are they kept? Why? Do they go fast? Are they in tournaments? Do pigeons taste good? He's a she? You just found out you were accidentally gay, and your first thoughts are of pigeons? Pigeons in a coop, because it's cool, pretty fast, they can be, very, yeah. Your significant other has been secretly raising racing pigeons in cages, because they would fly away if not kept in cages. They go one pigeon speed, probably. Yes, no. Another askreddit thread about private investigators. One of the stories is someone hiring one to find their significant other was cheating. They were training racing pigeons. You said significant other, but at the end of the sentence you say her free time. By any chance, did you catch your chick raising racing pigeons? Yo, if my significant other's hiding something from me and they have taken the time to nurture and raise a flock of pigeons, I mean, that's pretty badass. Like, yeah, I'd rather be included in this pigeon flock creation process thing. I might feel a little bit left out, but hey, I'd rather be somebody who's with someone who's secretly raising racing pigeons than somebody who's not raising racing pigeons, I guess. This response by Synonym Sam. Fairly confused, to be honest. We have 2 kids, one of whom is just a few weeks old, so I'd be concerned as to where she's getting free time and who's watching the children. I would have so many questions. 90% of them would involve learning about the sport and asking if there was anything I could contribute to help her out. Oh, that's so supportive. Significant other, I have something to tell you. Me. What is it? Significant other, I've been secretly raising racing pigeons. Me. Which one is the fastest? Significant other. The one on the fence. Me. He is my son. Radio silence 257 responds, I would be completely floored, and it would bring our entire relationship into question. For ever since we've met, my wife has had a crippling fear of birds. The bigger they are, the more terrified she is. Ooh, she must be terrified of turkeys. She can walk by a small sparrow with no issue, but when we pass a pigeon, she clutches my arm or puts me between herself and the bird. If a pigeon approaches our table at a restaurant, she'll wave a menu at it or ask me to kick my feet out to make it fly off. Birds and chicken or larger are met with abject terror and usually a visit into the nearest enclosed space. She once brought a car to a screeching halt because there were turkey in the road. If I found out she was secretly raising racing pigeons, and this had been happening throughout our relationship, I would have to wonder what this sociopath was doing all of those years pretending to have an inconvenient phobia. Well, I would marry her, as long as she isn't hiding it from me for nefarious reasons. Secretly raising racing pigeons, step 1. Step 2? Step 3? Step 4? World domination. Hey, they're halfway there. I'd take up curling, but without telling her. I'd win the weird hobby competition hands down. As a Canadian, I find it amusing that curling would be considered as weird a hobby as pigeon racing. I would be surprised he was really a she, and how the hell had she made me pregnant? Then I would wonder about this free time they had, and why wasn't she helping around the house more? And then I would want to see these birds. Why would she keep them from me? I'm the one who really likes animals. Oh, maybe that's why they're hiding them from you in this metaphorical secret world. Because you see, raising pigeons for racing isn't that great for the pigeons. Like, a bird doesn't exactly have the best time when it spends a whole bunch of its life in captivity in a cage, you know? Especially birds that are social and fly around a lot. And, you know, pigeons are, not the most social of creatures, but I could see someone hiding that they're raising racing birds because their significant other actually liked animals a lot and would view it as, like, abusive. So, yeah, that was my original impression of the whole thing. So it's funny that person said that because I was like, oh, they were thinking of something else. Huh, crazy. Who would have thunk? People having different perspectives. What? Secrets are bad for relationships. I'd be super happy for her. That sounds like an awesome pastime, but I would, not secretly, be very concerned for our relationship if she thought she couldn't trust me without knowing her hobby. Out of all the things your significant other could be doing secretly behind your back, raising homing pigeons is fairly harmless in the grand scheme of things. My father raised racing pigeons when I was a kid. It kept him quiet and busy. I had to scroll way too far to find the someone who knows the truth about birds. I'd wonder why it's a secret. She'd complained previously about not having a hobby, and extensive lies like that are concerning. I'd be bummed out she didn't let me help make the pigeon cars and helmets. Racing pigeons like they're in cars. That's funny because you picture a bird in a car, and it's like, why the hell would a bird be in a car? They fly, right? Not birds in cages. They gotta get around other ways. Set up a betting station and number all of the pigeons. Buy and strap GoPros to each pigeon. Set up a Venmo account. Tell everyone in the neighborhood of how they could make big money from home on these racing pigeons. Watch the money start rolling in. Ha. You know, pigeons aren't all that big. I don't know that you could strap a GoPro to one without the weight, unfamiliar, and unbalanced bulk making the pigeon clumsy or completely unable to fly effectively. Hey, you get his point. Maybe he meant GoPro figuratively. I assure you there's some kind of aerodynamic pigeon camera, something viable to strap to an animal for surveillance purposes. That has almost certainly been used multiple times by multiple different greedy governments and crap. How would you react if you found out that your pigeon racer was secretly dating a Redditor in her free time? This post is not a healthy way for you to handle your marriage problems, original poster. You need to talk this out with your wife and the pigeons. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to make your own YouTube channel, but you're intimidated by editing loads of content and you're not sure what to do, here's what you can do. We're working on making this software where you browse content online and you respond to it and read it and make it your own while you're recording your reaction. The goal here is to arm people with the ability to create lots of content. Because when you're new into the content creation world, what you gotta do is just create and create and create and create, because you're gonna get to a point where you know exactly what you need to do. The problem is you gotta get through all of the insecurities that you have about yourself. The reality is you can do things to make content. You just don't. It's not a confident person who can make content. It's not a person who has a bunch of skills. That's what happens after years of making content. The only thing that makes a person make content is the fact that they produce video. So what you need to be able to do is get in the habit of making video. So how do you do that? Well, you gotta be able to make videos quickly. And that's the goal here. We are working together to make software that people can record videos, make them their own, and get themselves out there and do it quickly. Our goal is to be able to produce 20, 30-minute videos, 20, 30 minutes of video in 35 or 40 minutes spent. It shouldn't take forever, right? And now, I'm not saying that this is a replacement for all kinds of YouTube content. At the end of the day, the best YouTube channels are the channels that publish a video every week or maybe every 2 weeks, but their videos are so in demand, they always get watched. People watch them for 20, 30 minutes every single time. They have huge average view durations, and they put loads of effort into their content, and they spend weeks building a single video. That's what you ultimately want to get to. But how do you get to that point? You don't start there. You start somewhere simple with the habit of content creation. That's all where it starts. You're better off spending a year creating every video you possibly can about everything you can possibly think about without any regard to whether other people like it. By the end of that year, you're gonna know what a good video is for you and what you like doing and exactly what you need to do to become one of those other YouTubers if that's what you want to be. That's how you get it. You don't get it by trying to become super pro today. You get it by making videos all the time. Bleed content. But how do you bleed content? You need a useful tool to be able to do that. So that's where we come in. If you're interested in this, if you're interested in making and running and maintaining your own YouTube channel, where you respond to content, you have to make it your own voice. And why do you have to make it your own voice? Because that's how you can monetize it. If you aren't adding your own human element into the picture, it's viewed as automated. It's not gonna be able to be monetized on YouTube. So if you can make a lot of content and it's you and you're just reading it and learning it, I'm telling you, not only is this a way that you can earn money, it's also a way that you can become happier. I can't tell you how many times I've been sad for no reason other than I'm just in the habit of being sad. But then reading other people's stuff, and there's something about reading it aloud and knowing I'm making a video, knowing somebody might listen to this, it makes you feel more connected. Even though right now, all these videos have like 1 or 2 views, you know? And that's okay. It's awesome. I'm loving this, right? So if you're interested in making this kind of content, please reach out to us. Go to our About channel, or our About page on this YouTube channel, and click on our email address, do the little CAPTCHA, and send an email to us, because we want to talk to you on Zoom. We want to talk to anybody who is interested in making content like this. We want to understand you, get to know you better. I used to run a YouTube channel and I lost it. And then I ended up meeting these people and working with them for a year, and now we're working on this and I'm part of a team and it's amazing. I can't recommend any more to anyone listening to this that you get on a team somehow. Figure out how can you be involved with a team of other people, because a team is always going to do more than you can do alone. And what you're gonna find in life is sometimes it's not enough to just do something for yourself because you know it's better, you know it's good enough. What you need is to be a little bit motivated by other people. Because sometimes you're gonna feel like it's not worth it. You're gonna feel like things aren't working out. But then other people just being a little bit hopeful or a little bit cheerful, it gets to you, it infects you, and the next thing you know, you're on a roll and you're getting to where you're going. All right, guys, thanks for watching. As always, see you next time. Ciao.